Howdy all, lovely to see you all again. We've got an emotional ballad today. We're going to be looking at Angel of Mercy by Black Label Society. I'd like to personally dedicate this song to Ben Ella's mum. If I could take it all back, I would, baby. I would. Roll it. Alright, let's take a look at the first section. I want to start off with 4 bends on 12 of the second string. We're going up and back. So after the 4th one, I'm going to work into this phrase. So what I'm doing here is a hammer on into a pull off 10, 12, 10 on the second string. And then I'm going to play 12 of the third as a regular note and then a bent note. All together. Okay, after that we work into this sort of Stairway to Heaven-y A minor pentatonic run. We're going to do this. Let's slow that down. So the first bit, I'm going to do the same thing twice. I'm going to do a slight bend on 7 of the third string, and then do a flat finger across 5 of the second and 5 of the first. At the end of that, I'm doing a pull-off from 8 to 5 on the second string. Okay, we want to do that twice in a row. Okay, at the end of that I go. So this is a very, very cheeky bend. I'm doing a bend on 7 of the third string and then jumping to 8 of the second. And then I do a bend again and then go to 5 of the second. So it goes. Okay, so all together of this recent chunk. And then I go into this. So what I'm doing here, still working in the A minor pentatonic, leading off that flat 5 bluesy note. What I've got here is I'm playing 8, 7, 5, and then I'm hammering, that's all pull off by the way, and then I'm hammering back to 7 and pulling off to the 5, sort of go. Cool, and then I jump to 7 of the 4th. Okay, at the end of that I go. So what I'm doing here is I'm flattening to 7 of the 3rd, jumping back up to 7 of the 4th, then jumping down to 5 of the 3rd, and then resolving to 7 of the 4th. So all together, let's take it from the start relatively slowly and then we'll work on the last chunk. Okay, hopefully that's all making sense, and then I go. What I've got there is a big bend on 8 of the first up and back. And then I want to play 5 as a leading note. And we're working to this crazy pentatonic run. So what I'm doing here, just working the first 2 strings of the pentatonic in A minor. So I'm playing 8, 5 on the first and 8, 5 of the second. I want to do that 3 times. So that's 3 groups of 4. Slightly faster on the third group. And then after that, I'm going to do a group of 6 notes. So what I'm doing here this time is the same 2 notes, but then I want to hit 7, 5 on the third, so it'll go. Okay, then to finish that off, I'm going to jump back to the second string and play 8, 5 again, and then 7, 5 on the third. And then to finish that, I'm going to play 7 of the 4th, jump to 7 of the 3rd, and then back up to the 7 of the 4th again, so it'll go. So the last little chunk's going to go. We'll go from the pentatonic bit, and we'll do the whole thing relatively slowly, and then one more time with some tabs. So we're going. Alright, relatively slowly from the start of the section. One more time with some tabs. Okay, let's have a look at the second section now. I'm going to start with a big bend on 10 of the first string. And then I'm going to hit it at the bottom. Then we work into this phrase. So what I'm doing at the start of that is 8, 10, 8 on the first string. And then I'm going to play 7, 8, picking both notes on the first string. And then I play 7, 8 as a hammer-on. So I'll go. Okay, so from the start of that. Okay, then after I've done that hammer-on, I want to go back to 7 again and do a hammer-on into a pull-off. So that's going to go 7, 8, 7. So all together. At the end of that, I'm just going to end on 10 of the second string. Now, you'll notice that I was standing up in the demonstration. That was because I was using wah. So the wah is going to help out getting that delicious Zakk Wylde kind of juicy vibrato with some of those notes that he has. So we've got, especially on the bends as well. Now we're going to do a very similar phrase to what we just had, but slow it down a little bit. I'm going to do a hammer-on into a pull-off 7, 8, 7 on the first string, and then I bend 10 of the second. So we're going to do that idea 3 times. At the end of the third one, I bend the 10th fret, and then I tap 11 from that bent note. And then I bring it down really slowly. So let's take it from the start of the section, and then we'll work through that big shred. Okay, hopefully that's all making sense. The next run is pretty shred-tastic. I want to play 12 and then 9, 10, 12 on the third string. Then from there, I want to shuffle over to 10 of the second, and I'm going to play 10, 12, 13 twice. So back to back. And then I go 15, 17, 18 twice. And that's still on the second string. And then I jump to 20 of the first string, or 20, 17, 18, 20. And then the last note of that phrase is 17 of the first string. So all together. And that's leading into the third group. So let's take it from the start of the section relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again with the tablature. So from the start. One more time with the tabs. Okay, so we've just come out of that run. We're going to start the third section on this 19 vibrato on the first string, and then it goes 17, 19, and then I'm going to bend up that 19. So it goes, then I bend it up, and when I'm at the top, I want to hit it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then the next pick I do, we'll bring it down and pull it off. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and I'm pulling off to the 17, and then playing the 19 again. So we've got. Okay, then the next bit I do is very similar phrasing we've just got a couple of different notes and emphases here. So the first one goes, sorry. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a bend on 19, hitting it once at the top and then bring it down. And then I go pulling off to 17. And then I go back to 19 again. So we've got, then at the end of that I go, so the difference between this group is when I bend it up, I'm going to hit it twice at the top. Okay, then at the end of this group I go a hammer on. So all together we're going bend, one note, bring it down, and then when we come back to the bend we're going to hit it 2 times. So we're going to go, and then at the end of that, what I'm doing here is a hammer on from 17 to 19 on the first string, and then I bend it up and back, picking it both ways. So let's take it from the start of the whole section. 1, 2, 3. Bend 1, bend 1, 2, and then we go. So hopefully that's all making sense. I think with the tabbing, and take it slowly, if you've got access to Audacity or any of those riff station things, this bit was super hard for me, so it might be worth slowing it down and trying to get the phrasing of those bends going up and down. After that, we work into this phrase. So we're working with a couple of octaves. I'm sliding in, not from anywhere in particular, to 17 of the third, and then playing 20 of the first, then 17 of the third and 19 of the first. Okay, then I'm going to slide into 16 of the third and then play 19 of the first, then back up to 16 again of the third and then 17 of the first. Then another similar idea, it's basically exactly the same thing that we just did 2 frets back. So I'm sliding into 14, playing 17 of the first, back up to that 14, and then 15 of the first. All together. And then I work into this. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing 13, 15 of the first string and 17 of the second, and then 13 of the first string again, and then 15, 17 on the second. So really I'm just using those same 3 fingers twice, just the middle fingers changing strings. 13, 15 of the first, 17 of the second, 13 of the first, 15, 17 on the second. Alright, let's try and take it from the start of the section relatively slowly. 1, 2, 3. One more time with some tabs. Okay, so this is the pretty redonky shred. This is the most redonkous thing in the solo. So we're going to start off a little bit slower than the rest of the shreds. The first couple of notes, 6 to be precise, are going to be relatively slow, and then we're going to some pretty uber fast stuff. So what I'm doing at the start of this was 13, 15, 17 on the second string, then 13 of the first, and then I reversed the last 2 notes, which was 17, 15 on the second. Okay, then we do the same kind of idea, just a little bit lower in the scale. A very similar idea, I'm playing 12, 13, 15 of the second string. Then I'm going to hit 12 of the first twice, and then reverse 15, 13, 12 on the second. So we'll go. So we've got. Okay, then as soon as I hit that 12, I'm going to work my way back to 13, 15 again. And then I'm going to play 12 of the first, 15 of the second, and then back to 12 of the first. So to go. Okay, as soon as I hit that 12 there, I'm going to go 12, 13, 15. And then I want to do 3 notes on 17. So from the start of this little shred. Okay, then I go. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing 13 of the first string, and then 17, 15, 13 on the second. So it'll go. Let's try and take it from the start. One more time, a little bit slower. Okay, now the next bit kind of reminded me of a little bit of a Hammerdy idea, I guess. I'm keeping the pointer where it is and then moving some other fingers around. So I'm playing 17, 15, 12 on the first, and then 15, 13, 12 on the first. And then I'm going to play 15, 13, 12 on the second string twice. So we're going to go and then resolve that on 14 of the third. So let's try the whole section relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright, let's take a look at the last section. I want to bend 8 of the second string up and back. And then we're going to work some fast hammer-on-y pentatonic stuff around this first position to begin. So go bending up and back. I've got a couple of leading notes into this phrase, and then it's a very simple group of 6 played quite quickly. So we're going up and back. Then I'm going to play 5 of the first, and then I'm going to pull off 8 to 5 and hammer back to 8 on the second string. So from the start. Okay, now let's have a look at this group of 6 notes. This is going to start from 5 of the first string. I'm going to play 5, 8, 5 as a hammer-on into a pull-off. And then I'm going to pull off 8, 5, 8. Pulling off 8 to 5 and then hammering back to 8 on the second string. And that's going to be our 2 groups of 3, making the 6. So we're going to go. And I want to do that same phrase 5 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's take it from the start. Okay, at the end of that, I want to do a quick 5, 8, and that's going to lead into this section. That last part there. So I'm still working in groups of 6, but the pattern's going to be slightly different. So I want to start from 10 of the second string now. I'm going to pull that off to 8, and then we're going to have 3 notes going 10, 8, 10. Hammer-ons and pull-offs, obviously. We're going 10, 8, 10, and then back to 8 of the first string, and that'll be a group of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to do that twice in a row. Okay, then I want to do the same thing again, but the initial pull-off is going to be from 12 to 8 on the first string. So we should have 3 groups of 6 from this new position. Okay, now the next part is just a group of 4. So I'm doing 12 to 8 on the first and the second string. At the end of that, I'm doing a big bend on 10 of the first. Alright, let's take it from the start of the section relatively slowly. Keep our counting up. We're very close to finishing it, so we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at the end of that, we've got this phrase. There's a little bit more after that. This is essentially the same timing twice across 2 octaves. So what I'm doing at the start of that is a slight bend on 8 of the second string and then jumping to 5 and again. So 2 of that, and then up the octave we're going to bend 15 of the first a little bit and then jump to 12. So back to back. Hopefully that's all making sense, and then I go. So to finish that off, I'm doing a bend in and out from 15 of the second string to 13. And at the end of that, I play 15 and bend it up really, really slowly. So let's do the whole section relatively slow, and then again with some tabs. more time with some tabs. And that was the solo to Angel of Mercy by Black Label Society. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. Catch you real soon.